The Lord be with you. I'm Deacon Keith Fournier, and our first reading is taken from the book of Genesis. Now the snake was the most subtle of all the wild animals that Yahweh God had made. It asked the woman, "Did God really say you were not to eat from any of the trees in the garden?" The woman answered the snake, "We may eat the fruit of the trees in the garden, but of the fruit of the tree in the middle of the garden, God said, you must not eat it, nor touch it, under pain of death." Then the snake said to the woman, "No, you will not die. God knows, in fact, that the day you eat it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like gods, knowing good from evil." The woman saw that the tree was good to eat and pleasing to the eye, and that it was enticing for the wisdom that it could give. So she took some of its fruit and ate it. She also gave some to her husband who was with her, and he ate it. Then the eyes of both of them were opened, and they realized that they were naked. So they sewed fig leaves together to make themselves loincloths. The man and his wife heard the sound of Yahweh God walking in the garden in the cool of the day, and they hid from Yahweh God among the trees of the garden. And our response is taken from Psalm 32. How blessed are those whose offense is forgiven, whose sin blotted out. How blessed are those to whom Yahweh imputes no guilt, whose spirit harbors no deceit. I made my sin known to you, did not conceal my guilt. I said, I shall confess my offense to Yahweh. And you, for your part, took away my guilt, forgave my sin. That is why each of your faithful ones prays to you in times of distress. Even if great floods overflow, they will never reach your faithful. You are a refuge for me. You guard me in trouble. With songs of deliverance, you surround me. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to St. Mark. Returning from the territory of Tyre, he went by way of Sidon toward the Lake of Galilee, right through the Decapolis territory. And they brought him a deaf man who had an impediment in his speech. And they asked him to lay his hand on him. Jesus took him aside to be by themselves, away from the crowd, put his fingers into the man's ears, and touched his tongue with spittle. Then looking up to heaven, he sighed, and he said to him, Ephatha, that is, be opened. And his ears were opened, and at once the impediment of his tongue was loosened, and he spoke clearly. And Jesus ordered them to tell no one about it, but the more he insisted, the more widely they proclaimed it. Their admiration was unbounded, and they said, everything he does is good. He makes the deaf hear, and the dumb speak. The Gospel of the Lord.